Hello Mandy here, thanks so much for joining. So as you know, on Wednesdays we make cards. I try and make them so that you don't need any specific products, that you can use A4 or US size, and here is a great example. I've literally used stamps out of my collection, scrapbook papers out of my collection and cardstock. You can do whatever you want with this. So it's a beautiful, beautiful card. So if we slide off the lovely decorated belly band there with just a basic sentiment on, and we open our book style card, we have this lovely arrangement. So we've just got a simple sentiment there. If this is part of the paper collection that I've used, if you don't have them, use what you've got. Use stamps, use your patterned papers, and then here I've just added some little artificial flowers. You could use handmade flowers, you could stick on chocolates, butterflies, anything you like, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So get comfy and let's get creating. Okay, so to start you're going to need two pieces. Each one is 8 1/4 by 9 7/8. So if you're in the UK, that's just the full width of an A4, cut down to 9 7/8. Let me just make sure this is to 8 1/4, because that looks a little bit large. Let me just check. 8 1/4, yeah, it is. So 8 1/4 by 9 7/8. And then what you want to do is get your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch all the way, 1 inch, 1 1/2, and 2, and you're going to do that on all 4 sides. All 4 sides, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you're using US size paper, the principle's the same. Just use your full width of your card and just work with that. You just might end up with a slightly narrower finished item. So now what you want to do, you've got your 4 score lines here at 1/2 inch. You want to do another 1/2 inch score, but you only want to meet it down to the 2nd score line. So you've got 4 going down and 4 going across. So we're going here to 2 1/2, but we're only going down to 2 score lines. And then from this side here, coming in from your last score line, which is at 6 1/4, you want to come in 1/2 inch, which is 5 3/4, and again score down to the 2nd score line. Okay, and that is on your short side, which is the 8 1/4 side, not on the long side. Then you want to turn it a full turn, so you're back on the short side again, but at the bottom, and do the same thing. So 2 1/2 down to the 2nd, and 5 3/4 down to the 2nd score line. Okay, and you need to do that twice because we need 2 of them. Okay, so I'm just going to show you one, and the other one I've already prepared. So now you're going to have on it all 4 corners, you're going to have quite a large section of tiny little boxes. So you just want to cut all of that away, but not these 2 boxes here that are on here, just this big box with lots of little boxes. So we're going to cut that away and try and cut it as neatly as possible, okay, and as straight as possible. Do your best. Okay, it's not the end of the world if you don't get something perfect. Sometimes you need to practice some things to get them absolutely spot on, and don't worry about it too much. It's just paper, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. So if I go out of shot a little bit on this bit, I do apologise, but I need to be able to see the score lines. Okay, that's that one. Okay, so I'm going to do the same here. Just going to tilt it so I can see. and you're always cutting to the far side of the score line so that you're cutting the score line away whilst you're cutting the piece away, so that you don't have any score line left on your card there. Okay, again, last one. Okay, so now with these two sections here, okay, what you want to do is have it facing you, and you're going to cut down there. Yeah, so we're cutting these two boxes away, but you just release it like so, okay, and then cut them away. Okay, I've left some score mark there, so I'm just going to go back and neaten that up. Okay, and then you're left with two full-size ones. So this one here, you want to cut from that corner to the score line at an angle like this, so that you're meeting that score line, so you've got that shape. So you've got two that have been made shorter, and then one that's cut at an angle and one that's left as it is. And you do that but on both sides, top and bottom. So cut those two squares away. And then this one you angle. Okay, I'm going to do it the other way, from the score line to the cut. Try and get that as neat as you can, so you've got that shape there. Okay, if you're not sure, pause the video and have a good look. So I'm going to do the other side a little bit quicker. So I'm cutting down, and then I'm just immediately cutting an angle. Cutting down, and then cutting an angle. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to fold in the very first 1/2 inch score line, just the first one, top, bottom and side to side. Okay, give them a burnish. And then add your tape or glue. I prefer, well, if you're gluing, you don't glue yet. If you're adding tape, add your tape. Now I need a thinner tape, just bear with me. That tape's too wide. I'll just use this one. Okay, this tape's a little bit skinny really, but I'll manage. Okay, so if you're gluing, then you don't, just ignore this step. I'm using tape because it's just faster. Okay. Okey-doke. So then when you've added all of your tape, you want to fold and burnish all the rest of your score marks. And burnish them really well, make sure they're lovely and creased, because it will help with the shape of your finished project. You'll get a nicer, much nicer shape. Okay. I'll go as fast as I can. We'll do super fast burnishing. That's all done, just this one to do. So you do all of this twice. Okay, I'm only going to show you one, I've pre-done the other one. Okay, now when you're sticking down, always start with the straight edges where you've not done any of your fancy cutting. Okay, so not the top and the bottom, you do side to side first. And what you do is, if you press it in half, like so you've got 4 score lines. If you fold it over in the middle, so you've just got 2 of them showing and 2 underneath, remove your tape. And then all you need to do is just fold it over and press, okay? And then that will pop up like so. So I'll do the other side. Fold it in half, making sure I'm in shot. Remove the tape. And it's the same process if you're gluing. Fold it in half, add your glue sparingly, and then fold it in half and press it while it's flat. It's easier, and it makes sure that it lines it all up perfect, rather than you putting it into a square shape and then gluing it and trying to line it up. Just fold it in half like so, and then you're going to get it spot on. Okay, so then what you can do is just flatten those out of the way, alright, and same process here, fold it in half, okay, remove your tape, okay, and then fold it over, okay, and then you can just press just in the middle bit there, and then it will just pop up, okay. So do the same here, I'm folding it in half, removing my tape, flattening those sides out of my way, and then just flick that over and press. Okay, can you see? I've flattened these down and I can press just in the middle there. And then this will just now pop up, and these will pop up and they'll slide inside there. Okay, now what you want to do, and this I suggest you take time and do them one by one and wait for them to dry. You need to put a dot of glue there, slide it in, make sure it's all lined up and flush, and hold it whilst it dries. Just be patient and just wait while it dries, okay? So I'm going to have to do mine as quick as I can. Okay, and then, oops, far too much glue on there, Amanda. Far too much. You don't need heaps of glue, you only need a little dot. Little dot of glue on each side. So you're giving it a minute to go tacky then. Okay. Then like I say, you're just bobbing your corner into there, and you'll just have to hold that whilst it dries or whilst it goes tacky. Okay. Try not to squeeze too hard or you'll flatten the shape of your corners. Okay, so try and be firm but gentle at the same time. Alright, and if you can, you can hold two at once. Just like I say, be careful not to squeeze these, you know, don't be pressing there and squeezing here because you'll distort the shape of your box. So just be mindful, and it is a wait for the glue to dry kind of a process. I'll try and speed mine up a bit by doing it like this. So you'll just have to bear with me, because it does need to be dry. I have got fast glue, drying glue, so it shouldn't take too long. Fingers crossed. Okay. Okay. So if I just set that there a minute, it should just carry on drying. Hopefully. And here's one I made earlier. So whilst that's drying, what I've done is I have cut some strips of paper. So your edges of the box card are 1/2 inch. So you want to cut your matting layers 3/8 of an inch to get a nice increment there. And just cut them in strips. You don't have to cut a frame and use a knife and all of that. Just cut it in strips and glue them on. They'll look really pretty. Just measure carefully and make sure they fit nicely. And then I've matted inside, just measure it, and then just cut it 1/8 of an inch shorter on the length and on the width. Okay, so whilst this one's drying, I'm just going to add a card to the centre of mine. Just put my scissors on there and try and hope it'll dry. So I've just got this little card here, like a journaling card that came with the paper line. So all I've done is I've cut it to size, so I've got a small increment. Just use your ruler and cut it either 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch smaller on each side, and layer that in the middle. Okay, if you don't have journaling cards like this, just do some stamping on a piece of white card, or just find something in your stash. These cards are all about using what you've got. Okay, so I've got that now. Alright, so once this is dried, I can layer in the middle. So I've cut the same colour card for the middle. I'm going to layer that in. I've cut it ever so slightly smaller than the frame so that I'm not struggling to get it in. Like so. Leave that to dry, and then we're going to layer these edges here with some cardstock. So I want my, let me see if that'll fit. No. Okay, so you just want a little increment, so I literally do mine by eye. Okay, I just do it by eye. I put it on, have a look. Have I got a bit of a gap? The same kind of gap I've got either side as I have top to bottom. That'll do me fine, and I will glue that on. You don't have to do this. Another alternative idea, so you don't have to do this, is before you fold all your box together, stamp all around the plain white card with a nice generic stamp, and then you've got patterned card. That's another idea. Okay, so I'm just going to literally just lay that on, and then I just nip it with my nail to give me a guide of where to cut it and layer it on. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And this is just a, you know, just use any old paper line that you've got laying about. It's nothing, I think this is, well, it'll be from the range what I'm using, because that's where I get my basic paper lines from. I'm just trimming that, and I'm just having a double check to see if it's going to leave me a bit of an increment. I just need to just trim a little bit more off, because I want a little bit of gap between each layer. It just looks pretty. You can overlap them if you're not good at that. It really doesn't matter. You could just overlap them all. I just like to have a little bit of an increment. Okay. Layer that on. Get another one. So what I've done is I've cut several strips at 3/8 of an inch, the full width of my paper, which is, mine happens to be 12 inches, and then I just cut them to size by eye. You can measure them and cut them all exactly the same. The only difficulty with that is, I find with this kind of box, is that sometimes one side can be just ever so slightly a different size to the other, depending on how well you've burnished, on how thick your card is. There's lots of variables. That's why I'm doing this bit by eye rather than measuring, because you can find that you'll cut them and then one side just needs to be that little bit longer for some reason. Don't ask me why, I'm not a rocket scientist. It's just how it goes. You know, paper's paper. It's not a precise science. So I've got my two boxes there. So now what I need is, I need something to join them with, because we're going to do it like a book closure. Okay, so for this piece it's going to need to be, each of these is 1/2 inch. You want 1/2 inch to join. So you're going to need, I'm just explaining the math. So you're going to need 1 inch across there, 1/2 inch to join there, and 1/2 inch to join there. If you add that up, that's 2 inches. Okay, and our boxes are 5 7/8 long, so we want 2 by 5 7/8. Okay, doke. Let's have a look. Is this 2 inches? It is. I'm just going to cut it just over. I'm cutting it just slightly over, just to make sure I've got room for where it folds over. So 5 7/8 is the height. 5 7/8, Amanda. And what I'm doing is I'm just checking that I've not made a mistake and I've got the right length, and I have. So then what you want to do is get your scoreboard, and you want to score each end at 1/2 inch. Each side on the short side at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch there, turn it 1/2 inch there. Because I've cut it just over 2, I want most of the space to be there in the middle. Okay. So then you want to fold and burnish that 1/2 inch. Okay. Give it a good burnish. Nice burnish. And then I'm adding my tape, and then I'm going to just gently notch as well. Hold on, let me just think where my tape wants to be. The tape wants to be on the inside, because it's going to stick to the back. Nearly did it wrong then. Okay. So just tape or glue on the inside of these 1/2 inch flaps. I'm going to gently mitre or snip like so, with just a small amount there, not straight to the score line, although you can do it straight to the score line. That's just how I like to do it. Okay. a good crease. Then we have not finished this box yet. I'll finish that in a minute. Put them the right way up that you want them. Okay. Line them up the best you can. Okay. Then remove one of your tape back-ins, or if you're using glue, use glue. And you want to attach it. Let me do it this way. So I'm going to just put my box into the score line. Much easier if you use glue than tape. Into the score line. Just bear with me. Make sure it's centralised top and bottom so that it's even and straight. Close to that score line but not on it. Okay, that was fine. Alright. And then we're going to do the same at the other side. Okay, make sure you've got it the right way up. So that would be a nightmare. So what I'm going to do now to make sure it fits snug, I'm going to put my boxes together, okay, before I attach that glued bit. I'm going to wrap that around, and then if I need to make any adjustment so that it fits nicely, I can just re-crease it with my fingers sort of thing, and that will give you that book fold where they both fit in nicely together. Okay, so then your card will stand up like that, it will freestand. Alright, then it's just down to the decorating. I may well line that with paper because I'm fussy afterwards, and I'll probably line all the way around top and bottom, but I won't do it for the video. I'll just do the front and back, just so that I'm not going on for hours. I just think if you make that extra effort when you're decorating your cards, it will just look really, really stunning. Okay, so then this will layer over where you've added that layering strip, and I've cut this 1/4 inch smaller all the way around. Okay, so the 3/8 inch strips that you've cut previously will fit if you want to do, you know, there, and there, if you want to do it all the way around. Yeah, I'll do the back. Again, that's been cut to the same size. It will cover over that joining flap, centralise it, and give it a press. So now I'm just going to decorate the inside there, and I'm going to put some lovely flowers in, and I've chosen some nice bright colours. Now I would probably, if I'm honest, I would use hot glue, but for the quickness for the video I'm going to use glue dots, okay, and hope that they'll stick so that you don't have to be hanging around watching me use a glue gun. Okay, so what I do is look for the centre, put your top one on first, okay, centralise it, centre, okay, and then do your bottom one. So these are just some cheap flowers from Amazon that my daughter bought. We did a baby shower, a baby plaque for her new soon to arrive baby with it, and then she left them all at my house. So, but you could make your own flowers, or you could put die cuts in here. You could put what you want. You could even put some chocolates in with glue dots. But I'm just having the 3 flowers like so. Okay, how pretty is that? How cute! And the glue dots are actually holding it fine. You actually don't need to use doodah, what's it? What are you going to say? Hot glue! Hot glue, you don't need hot glue. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a belly band. So let me just see if I've got a strip of scrap card that's long enough. Let's have a look. So this looks like it's about 12 inches. I don't know, I've just picked it up randomly off my desk. It's 12 inches, so let's see if it'll wrap around. Whenever I'm doing belly bands, I don't use precise measurements. I'll literally get a long strip of paper and I'll wrap it around my project. Okay, and that fits fine. So you need 12 inches. Okay, and I'll wrap it around my project, and I will nip it at each side, because sometimes you can measure things within an inch of the life and then they're still not right. Okay, so then once you've done your nipping, once you've nipped your belly band, go back and give it a good crease. Okay. Okie doke. Alright, so they will join together like so, and then you can decorate them with paper. So I'm going to actually just put tape on the edge there, and then I'm going to rewrap it around my project. Let me just take the tip backing off. I'm going to just rewrap it around my project to make sure that I'm not doing it wrong and that it fits nicely. See, that is a little bit off, so I'm just going to recrease it. Alright, and then I've got my tape on there. You want it tight, but not so tight that you can't get it off. Okay, because that would be a disaster. Okay, let me just recrease that. So I've creased that one a little bit too tight. Let me just do it again. A little bit too tight, that one, Amanda. Let me just move it over a tad. Oh, my tape's ripped. Let me just redo it. Doesn't matter. New bit of tape on. This is where glue is your friend, because you've got more time to adjust then. If you've done it a little bit tight, you can just slide it. Whereas once you've taped, you've taped. Right, so I want a little bit of wiggle room there. Please, Amanda. Not so tight that it's like your wallet. Okay, so that should slide now. There we go. Okay, so that will slide on and off. I'm just checking which way up it is. It's that way. So that at this point I would layer all of my belly band with patterned paper. Okay, I'm just going to do the front just to show you. So I'm going to measure it. It measures about 4.25 by, did I say 2? 4.25. Okay, let me cut that length first. So 4.25 is the length. I want it just slightly under so that I've got a bit of an increment. 4.25, and this is how I do my measuring for my matting layers. And that is 1 and 5/8. So I want it 1.5. 1.5. I'm just going to do it just a little bit over. Okay, then I will lay it on and I'll have a look to see if I like it. Yeah, and that's got me a lovely increment. I'll do the same on all sides, but we won't do it for the video. I'll do it before I put the thumbnail up, but I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to. Okay, so that's that like that. Then you might want to add a pretty sentiment. Now I have pre-stamped some. I don't know if I like them. This one says wishing you the best. That one says lots of love. Maybe we'll have wishing you the best. That's not too bad. We'll have that one. So I'm just going to add some glue across the middle and add that there. Just wondering if I've got room for another flower. Have I got one hander? I don't have another flower, but you know, you could add another flower or a butterfly or something. I might add a butterfly, but you get the general idea. Like I say, I will continue to mat these all the way, and I will probably do the sides and down here as well. So then this slides off and you've got a beautiful book style card with some pretty flowers in the middle, and it will stand up beautifully. I hope that you'll give that a try. I hope you like it. Make sure you leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you think I deserve it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.